It is 6 a.m. on Friday, November 13th. I guess we're gonna have a Friday the 13th, baby. All right, y'all. I have been having contractions since about 5 a.m. when I woke up, maybe like 4:35. I rolled over in bed and yeah, I'm fine. I'm recording. I rolled over in bed and I felt my underwear and they were wet. I got up and there was like a trickle to the bathroom and I'm like, I know I'm not peeing on myself because I just got up to pee. I got over the toilet, there was a little bit more water, and then I noticed every time I moved there's kind of like some more coming out. So pretty sure my water just broke. I just woke up. My daughter and my husband called my sister so she can come get my daughter so she can do school and stuff today. We are gonna get the dog set and head to the hospital, and I will update you guys in a little bit. So go give your mommy a hug goodbye. Say bye to Bella. Next time you see it, it'll be your little sister. Are you ready? Because it'll be empty next time. I get my sexy back. How does it? What time is it? Oh, it's 7:09. So it's a little after 7 now. Babe, it's great. I don't know how far apart my contractions are. I just know they're getting worse, but they're not like super close together. I keep like trickling in between my legs and it feels gross.
Let me tell you why she wet like that. I ain't gonna tell you. Big Daddy.
Big Daddy, Big Daddy. I'm really crampy in between contractions, so I'm like super uncomfortable.
You know, people will be like, he was brushing his eyebrows in the background. Most of us go let it.
Hey, why are you brushing your eyebrows?
That's what I do when I go to work.
You brush your eyebrows with that one?
All the time.
Oh, that's why they so perfect.
No, I be just trying to keep some hair just sticking up. Like, shut down the wall.
Okay, I'm having a contraction. Luckily, we don't live too far from the hospital.
2 days away from it.
We're 2 days away. We just a couple exits away, so. Bet you gotta turn it off. I'm gonna get copyrighted flag. But yeah, we are on our way to the hospital. I registered online for this. I actually registered for 2 hospitals. I registered for the hospital that we're on our way to because that's the hospital we want to deliver at.
What's the name of it? Viewers don't know.
Okay, so I registered at Henderson Hospital, but I did my registration online. But early on in my pregnancy, I had to have a cerclage placed. And so in order to have that cerclage, I had to be registered at the hospital that I had the procedure at, which was Summerlin Hospital. It's also Summerlin Hospital, the hospital I had my oldest daughter at. But that wasn't the preferred hospital, and it's not that close to us. So we decided that if, you know, we had to have any medical intervention, we would go to that hospital because that's that's where my doctor goes. But the hospital that we prefer, which is Henderson Hospital, is the one that we're going to. At the time, my doctor didn't go to Henderson Hospital. And technically my doctor still doesn't, but there are other doctors in the practice that do go to Henderson Hospital, so we're gonna go there. And I guess we will update you guys when we get to triage. The bump. It's the last little look at the bump. She's gonna make her entrance today, apparently Friday the 13th. Not the 13th of October though. At least it's only November. Made it to the hospital. Babe is getting the bags out the car. We on our way. Waiting on this little one. So we made it to triage. Checked in
Give you like a stack of records or anything? Like printed out labs or anything? No worries.
So we made it to triage. My water's definitely broken. I'm being admitted. She checked me. I was 3 to 4 centimeters. She said I was like 50 to 60% effaced. My doctor said I was 80, 75 to 80, so somewhere in there. Baby's really low. I'm having contractions. I just had one. It really sucked. I couldn't tell you how often they are because the monitor's not catching my contractions, but I'm definitely having them. We are waiting on the nurse to contact the doctor, get orders, and then they're gonna move me to my labor and delivery room. And then Babe can set up his Xbox and all that good stuff. Okay, so it's been a little bit since I updated you guys. It is now 10:30 in the morning. We have moved into our room. I'm having contractions every 2 to 3 minutes. They're varying in intensity. Some of them are little, some of them are big. They gave me IV pain meds. They gave me fentanyl. It worked really well for like the first 20-30 minutes, but now it's like wearing off and my contractions are just back to where they were at square one. I'm having like all of my contractions in like my butt. I'm like really uncomfortable. He brought the Xbox, so that's all set up and ready to go. It's just a waiting game. Just waiting on baby. Make this grand entrance. But we should definitely have a baby today. Alright, so quick update before the next contraction comes. She checked me, my nurse checked me again, and I was still like 3 to 4 centimeters dilated, but I was further effaced. They started me on a little bit of Pitocin to get my contractions a little closer together. So they were like every 3 to 6 minutes, and now we're trying to get them every 2 to 3 minutes, but I'm not having back pain or stomach contractions. I'm having like crotch contractions. So like every time I have a contraction, I get like a sharp pain in like my crotch and butt. But I just asked for my epidural because I'm uncomfortable and I'm nauseous. And they gave me 2 different nausea medications and I just don't feel good.
Doing what dads do. So, we gotta take this off. Because before Cinnamina, she said, I gotta do their damn job. So before seeing with this, you know, hey, shit, look, I done brought the Xbox to the hospital. Big chillin'. So we gotta flip this around. So we got an update for y'all. 4 centimeters now, right? The water's still coming out. She did an epidural, y'all. She put the long needle in her back and took 66 shots of whatever fluid they put in you to numb you from the waist down. And I'm happy. I feel good. I'm blessed. And she looking at the screen while it's recording me. So I'm gonna turn this way and let y'all see her. She over there shaking like a stripper on P Valley and shit. Nah, but everything is good. They said the baby is in great condition. My wife is in great condition. They told me I'm in great condition as well. So we just gonna ride this condition shit out. I'm not good on the camera. So when she put this in the video for y'all, I just want to say thanks to all the people that's going to get to see this and all the family that wished us well. And we just want to have a healthy, strong, full developed child that don't cry. Okay? Thank you.
Well, hello. A lot has happened since the last time that we got on camera because we ended up having to have an emergency C-section. Well, it was kind of an emergency C-section. So everything just happened so fast and so quickly that we weren't able to catch everything. So I will insert, pictures and the clips that we did get. Baby is here. It's a whole lot that has happened. I don't even know what to say. It's day 2. She was born last night, so we've missed a few hours of not recording, but between being nauseous and being out of it because of the meds and being in shock because of the surgery and then like family and everything. Yeah, I don't even know what I really wanted to say on here. I just felt like I started recording and I haven't given you guys an update. Like, so much has happened so quickly, so fast, so scary. So I will do a story time to insert kind of what happened with labor. You know what? Forget the story time. I'll just tell you guys what happened. So, I got here, and as you guys know, my water was broken. I dilated to 3 or 4. I kind of just sat at 3 to 4, and then I was having really bad contractions. They were hurting a lot, but I was like moving. They put me on a portable monitor, so I was moving around, bouncing on the birth ball, all that stuff. But I decided to get an epidural because baby's heart rate was dropping a little with my contractions. When I was having contractions that hurt, but they weren't big enough to like progress labor as much as I needed it to. So I opted to get an epidural. They gave me the epidural and then started me on Pitocin so that we could get some stronger contractions so that I could start to dilate more. So my water was broken and I was 3 to 4, but I was kind of stuck at 3 to 4. So they wanted to start me on the Pitocin, but they wanted me to be a little bit more comfortable and hope that, with me having the epidural, like her heart rate wouldn't have so many variations in it. With that, I would be able to lay down. They could position me in the right position. Those were the thoughts. So I got the epidural and I got the Pitocin, and then my contractions got really big, but I could feel the pressure, but I couldn't feel the pain. But baby's heart rate kept dropping. So they backed off on the Pitocin just a little bit. And repositioned me and let me sit like that for a while. Baby's heart rate came back up. Things were doing good. So they upped the Pitocin again. When they upped the Pitocin again, baby's heart rate went from like the 120s to like the 40s. And next thing I knew, my nurse came in. She was trying to be calm about it, but there was another nurse behind her, and then the on-call doctor behind her, and then 2 other nurses that came behind them. And like, next thing I know, they're flipping me over. They're putting me on all 4s. I'm numb from the waist down, but I've got to be on my knees and my elbows, or my knees and my hands, to reposition baby, to get baby's heart rate to come back up. So they give me a shot of something. I can't remember what the name of the medication is. They give it to me in my arm to stop my contractions. They turn off the Pitocin. They up the fluids. They inserted fluid back into my uterus. Bless you. I missed the part about babies. They weren't getting baby's heart rate very good on the external monitor, so they ended up actually putting the monitor on her head, like through my vajayjay. So that's how they were able to know, like, for sure that her heart rate was dropping and stuff. They ended up having to put fluid back into my uterus. And that helped, and it brought baby's heart rate back up. The on-call doctor was there, and he told me during this whole thing we were going to have an emergency C-section. But then when her heart rate came back up, he was like, well, we'll watch it for a while. Well, 20 minutes later, my doctor walks in, or the doctor that's delivering me from the practice that I see. And she suggests a C-section, and I'm just like, well, we just avoided an emergency C-section. But she explained, like, baby's heart rate was dropping with the little contractions, so we need big contractions to progress labor. And if we can't get big contractions and keep baby stable, like, we're just stuck, and we're going to end up in a C-section anyways. So there were other factors and things that went into it, but me and hubby asked for some time to kind of think about it, because we had a whole birth plan, and it was to labor as long as possible naturally, to delayed cord clamping, to keeping our placenta, all of those things, because, that's our life. We try to be as natural and as healthy as possible. We believe in Western medicine, but to an extent. Anyways, but still, just mentally, spiritually, emotionally, we had this plan because this is what felt right in our hearts, but the plan just didn't happen. And we made an executive decision together as a couple that it was in the best interest of our child to just get her here. So about 20-30 minutes later, I was in the OR, and then we got souped up to deliver baby. But I was really nauseous before I went to the OR, and I told them that. And they told me they were going to give me everything I needed while I was there. Well, the entire time I was in surgery, I was throwing up. I threw up like 4 separate times. I had vomit all over my face, all over my arm, all over my shoulder. It was on the pillow. It was just a mess. So he was like, you weren't lying when you said that you get sick. No, I was not lying. I've been sick my whole pregnancy. Like, I have hyperemesis gravidarum. Like, I've gained 6 pounds with this entire pregnancy. And baby was almost 6 pounds. So that was baby. That wasn't even including amniotic fluid or placenta weight. Like, I don't even know what I weigh now. So I threw up the entire procedure. They did the procedure, and me and my husband heard them call out the time. So we knew that she was here, and the anesthesiologist asked for her phone so he could take a picture. So we knew she was here, but they never told us that she was here, and we didn't hear her cry or anything. So I'm like, is she okay? Is she okay? And nobody's answering my question. So a couple minutes later, we finally hear her cry. But scary. She came out and she was not breathing on her own. So they had to call the NICU nurses to come in and work on her. And they worked on her for she was on CPAP for a solid 7 minutes. And that was after them working her up and trying to get her to breathe. Of course, I'm laying on a table. I'm not seeing it. I'm missing it all. So I'm giving you guys my secondhand information based on my experience, plus what I was told was occurring during that time that I was asking those questions. But yeah, baby wasn't breathing, and she had a really pretty traumatic labor experience for her. So I'm happy we made the decision that we made to have a C-section, but it's not what I wanted at all. So far, baby's doing good. She's latching well. She kept me up last night in the evening, which was kind of the same thing she did when she was in the belly. She just has, the evenings are just her favorite time of day. Every other time she's chilling. The medication that they gave me to stop my contractions, I don't know exactly what it does, but they told me that because they gave it to me, they would have to test baby's blood sugar once she was born 3 to 4 times. So they tested it last night after I fed her, and they wanted it to be at a 45. Her first one was 47, her second one was 50, and her last test, sugar or glucose test, was 55, which was great. So she passed all of that with flying colors. They checked her for jaundice. Her jaundice levels were good, but they checked her for jaundice again today, and her jaundice levels were a little bit high. So we're gonna put her in the Billy blanket for a few hours in between feedings, so that we can bring her her bilirubin level down so she's not jaundiced anymore. Other than that, it's just been recovering. I didn't anticipate a C-section. I've never had a C-section. And I know people that have had them, but it's not like we talked about their experience or what to do, what not to do. It wasn't something that I prepared myself for mentally, physically, emotionally, any of that. So now I've got to educate myself on how to properly take care of myself with a C-section and make sure that I do what I need to do to keep my incision clean, to keep me healthy, to keep me out of the hospital. But that's all for now, folks.